Good morning, geography students. This is Mrs. Hewlett here. Today's video is to assist you with lessons 1.2 in your geography course. That's Unit 1, Lessons 1.2. So after you finish this short video, you'll want to go back and make sure you review all of the lessons that pertain to 1.2. Then you should be ready to tackle that 1.2 quiz. Unfortunately, I will be out of the office today, so please be patient when contacting me. I'll get back to your IMs, messages, and phone calls as soon as I'm able. Hope you have a great Thursday. Later. This is a summary of Geography Lesson 1.2, Spatial Thinking. While cartographers busily work to make us maps for our daily use, updating them as boundaries and location identifiers change, we are creating our own maps based on what we see and experience in our own heads. We call this mental mapping. From the standpoint of geography, a mental map is an internal rendering of an individual's known world, or our spatial perception of the world. We can think of this as an internal picture. Your mental map is so strong, you could probably close your eyes and walk to the bathroom in your house using only your mental map and not your eyes. A good cartographer outlines goals of the map he or she is to create. While the factual information, like where countries belong, remains, there are still some questions the cartographer will need to answer before he or she starts the map. What is the goal of the map? Where is the map going to be used? Who will read the map? And what data and resources are available? When these 4 questions are answered, the cartographer has a better idea of how to set up the map to best suit the audience it addresses. Culture is an extremely important part of studying geography. However, it is also a very broad topic to look at. A culture is the sum total of the beliefs and behaviors that a group of people share. Culture can range from television shows and movies to religious beliefs, tribal dances, and literature. There are several key terms that will help you understand the dynamics of culture as it relates to geography and people. You can find all of these terms in your 1.2 section notes in Doc Sharing. Make sure you spend some time in your lessons on these terms so that you can understand a few examples of the terms as well. You may have heard the term culture shock before. Culture shock is when immersing yourself in a culture that is very different from your own, you experience surprise, confusion, because the customs and traditions are so different from what you're used to. When one tries to fit in with a culture, they are going through the process of acculturation. Counterculture is opposing the culture systematically or on purpose. Population and demography are the final topics addressed in section 1.2. Population is the amount of people that live in a particular area. We can learn a lot about a particular region by knowing how many people live there. For example, just by knowing a population, you can usually tell whether that region is urban, like a city, or rural, like a farming community. We will examine many graphs and population trends throughout the quarter in geography. Demography is the act of using these population characteristics to understand the region. When a group of people want to know how many people live in a region, what do? They count. This act is called a census. The last census in our country was done in 2010. It takes a lot of effort to count an entire nation's population. Now it's your turn. Make sure you're reading and doing the online activities for 1.2 studies 1, 2, and 3. Then you'll need to take your 1.2 quiz. If you haven't yet finished your 1.1 lessons and quiz or your 1.1 discussion, you'll need to work on those today as well. Happy Thursday. See you tomorrow in class.